U.S. denies Mexico's request for special water delivery, igniting tensions over Colorado River for the first time ever. The United States has rejected a special request by Mexico to create a channel for Colorado River water to be delivered to the city of Tijuana, marking a significant moment in the ongoing water dispute between the two countries. This decision comes amid growing concerns in the U.S. over Mexico's failure to meet its obligations under the 1944 Water Treaty, which regulates water distribution from the Colorado and Rio Grande rivers. The U.S. Department of State, through its Bureau of Western Hemisphere Affairs, posted on X, formerly Twitter, that the U.S. was forced to deny Mexico's non-treaty request due to Mexico's continued shortfalls in its water deliveries. The department emphasized that Mexico's inability to provide water as agreed under the treaty has had devastating effects on American agriculture, particularly in the Rio Grande Valley, where farmers have been struggling due to water shortages. The statement made it clear Mexico's continued shortfalls in its water deliveries under the 1944 Water Sharing Treaty are decimating American agriculture. The U.S. also noted that this marks the first time it had to reject a non-treaty request for a special water delivery channel. This decision is seen as a direct response to Mexico's ongoing challenges in meeting its water obligations, which have been complicated by severe drought conditions. The 1944 Water Sharing Treaty between the U.S. and Mexico is designed to ensure the fair and equitable allocation of water from shared rivers, including the Colorado River and the Rio Grande. Under this treaty, Mexico is required to deliver water to the United States from dams located on the Texas-Mexico border. The agreement operates on a 5-year cycle, with the next scheduled delivery ending in October 2025. However, Mexico has been unable to meet its commitments, primarily due to persistent drought conditions. In response to the U.S. rejection, Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum acknowledged the seriousness of the situation and reassured the public that the issue is being addressed. Sheinbaum confirmed that Mexico's National Water Agency Conagua and the International Boundary and Water Commission (CILA) are actively working on solutions to resolve the matter. She commented, "There's been less water. That's part of the problem," acknowledging the challenges caused by dwindling water resources. On the U.S. side, the issue is not just about legal compliance. It has become a matter of national importance. Texas Senator Ted Cruz voiced his concerns by meeting with farmers and ranchers from the Rio Grande Valley. Describing the situation as dire, Cruz stated that Mexico's failure to fulfill its obligations under the treaty is having catastrophic effects on Texas, particularly on its agriculture sector. He added Mexico is refusing to comply with its obligations under the 1944 Water Treaty to provide water from the Rio Grande to the U.S. Even while we go above and beyond our own obligations to give Mexico water, Senator Cruz has been a vocal advocate for holding Mexico accountable, even pushing for sanctions in the past. He emphasized that every option is on the table, including withholding aid and reconsidering water exports to Mexico. Cruz also mentioned that he plans to work with the Trump administration to impose consequences on Mexico, making it clear that the U.S. is prepared to take further action if necessary. The issue has also been a topic of discussion in the U.S. Water, Agriculture, and Rural Affairs Committee. The committee has pushed for the U.S. State Department to ensure Mexico meets its water obligations. At a recent hearing, Texas State Senator Wanchai Hinojosa highlighted the severe impacts of the water shortages on local farmers. He shared that water scarcity has even halted economic growth in the valley, noting the reality is that even commercially, the growth of the valley is being stunned because we cannot issue any more builder-s permits because there's no water. Senator Charles Perry also expressed concerns about the ongoing water dispute, suggesting that the Trump administration could leverage the water treaty in negotiations related to tariffs. Perry said, It would be nice to include water release under the 1944 treaty in those tariff negotiations so that we could get some relief in the valley. This water dispute is just one of several tensions that have flared between Mexico and the United States in recent months. The two countries have also been at odds over a name change for a significant body of water, the Gulf of Mexico. Since former President Trump took office for a second term, there has been controversy surrounding Google Maps' labeling of the Gulf. Mexican officials, including President Sheinbaum, have condemned Google for referring to the Gulf as the Gulf of America for U.S.-based users. Sheinbaum argued that Trump's decree to rename part of the continental shelf under U.S. control does not apply to Mexico's territory. She criticized Google for changing the name of the Gulf in its mapping system and stated, "We do not agree with this, and the foreign minister has sent a new letter addressing the issue." Mexico even threatened legal action against Google if the map continued to display the Gulf incorrectly. In February, President Sheinbaum sarcastically suggested that perhaps the entire continent of North America should be renamed America Mexicana Mexican America as a counter-proposal to Trump's decree. She was vocal in her disapproval, stating, "That sounds nice, no?" While the water dispute between Mexico and the U.S. continues to simmer, both countries are feeling the effects of climate change, which is exacerbating water scarcity. The ongoing droughts in Mexico, along with rising tensions over water resources, have made this issue one of the most pressing cross-border challenges in North America. As both countries navigate these challenges, it remains to be seen how they will reach a resolution that satisfies both sides and ensures the sustainable management of shared water resources.